Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife video for you. You guys have requested some collection updates. I was not going to do that because I just did it mostly over the holidays. But you know what? There have been a lot of changes. And as someone aptly pointed out in the comments in one of my live shows, that yeah, it is kind of a holiday for a lot of us right now. A lot of us aren't working. We're stuck at home. So yeah, why not do it? But I wanted to do something a little different, and I thought last night during an Instagram live thing, I was showing that I've been carrying a lot of cold steels this week, this last couple of weeks, and I thought, dude, do I have enough cold? No, I don't have enough cold steels to do a cold steel collection update. But then going to sleep last night, I counted up in my head, and because I just got one of them yesterday, and that's on here, and I thought, no, I have 7 now. That's plenty enough to do a collection update, and I've got 2 more on the way at some point. With everything going on right now, I've held off on purchasing one of them, and I'm just not sure when I'm going to get the other one. But I don't know how I went up with 7. I think, and soon to be 9. I think Lynn Thompson snuck up on me with his Filipino footwork and surprised me, and all of a sudden, boom, you have a lot of cold steels. It's weird. Like when I first started this channel, cold steel kind of turned me off. You cannot mention cold steel without talking about Lynn Thompson, the founder, emperor, mascot, master at arms, whatever his chief trainer. He has a bunch of titles over there. His company. He is a character, and I don't think he would be upset with me for referring to him as such. I don't mean it in an insulting way. But if you watch their videos, I mean, you see Lynn with all these, martial arts fighting techniques, and they're hacking at whole pigs and cutting yoga mats. I know they're not called yoga mats. I can't remember what the name of the mat is that they always cut up, but lots of really cool stuff they do there. If you're into that kind of stuff, I really wasn't into that kind of stuff. Still I'm not really, but it is undeniable that they make some fantastic knives. Some are a bit silly. I have one silly one here. I want to get another silly one. But they do silly better than anybody else, absolutely hands down. But a lot of their more quote-unquote normal knives are just awesome. Heat treats, always amazing on their steels. Edges out of the box, best of anybody I get. They're always just razor sharp, perfectly evenly ground. Doesn't matter where they're made. I think everything here is made in Taiwan. That's where they do most of their stuff now. But it's just everything is very well ground, excellent edges, excellent heat treat, very solid. They all have like the triad lock. I think all the ones here are all triad lock, and it is the strongest lock you can buy. It's been pretty much proven. Does that matter to most people? Probably not, but it is nice to know that it's there. A lot of Andrew Demko designs here. Andrew Demko designs most of their knives, and he is a great dude. I got the pleasure to meet him at Blade Show, and just a really nice guy and really knows what he's talking about, absolutely, with designing knives, as evidenced by these and his customs that he does. So let's get started here. What are the 2 that are not here? The 8015. I had one of the originals with the OD green and the bronze on it. That's a scorpion lock kind of knife. That'll be a link to the review down below here. I'm not going to bother showing a picture. He is that was a great freaking knife. I really loved everything about it. And Andrew, as I said, great guy, and this is kind of like the epitome of his designs with that really cool scorpion lock, and I really liked it, but I did not like the color at all. At the time, I wasn't really comfortable with dyeing stuff, so I sold it because I just didn't carry it much because I didn't like the way it looked. Then later on, just recently, like this year, they came out with a black version with black handles, and I thought, oh, I want that really bad. I thought that's what I ordered, but I wound up with another green one. Now I'm more comfortable with dyeing scales. I tore it apart. I dyed the scales like a really nice navy blue. It came out really well. It looked okay, but it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted the black one, and then I was still going to keep it, and then somebody offered me a really good trade, so I got rid of it. I am going to get one of the black ones. I don't know when. I'm waiting for all this craziness to go through. The other one, probably be a bit longer because I really have to wait for all the craziness to pass, because it is just a silly thing that I just want. Yes, I do have a Formax. We'll get to that in a moment, but I wanted a truly big nutso cold steel. So I really want a Toughlight with a crisp blade, that wavy blade. I really want that. It's like a 6-inch blade. I think it's over a foot long. It is ridiculous, but I want one. And they're not bad. I think they're like $100. So like, I do really want one of those. We'll see if I ever get my hands on one. But let's get into the ones that I do have. We're going to start out, we're just going to go big to small. How about that? So first up would be the Formax Scout. This is a fairly recent acquisition. I've had it for a couple months now, maybe 3 months. It was off to Nick Shabazz for a little while, who did a great review of it if you want to look at it. And if you just want to watch Nick Shabazz giggle, which is fun. Yeah, so a less expensive version of the Formax. The original Formax was what, like $400, and it was, S35VN tie liners. This is steel liners and AUS 10A, which you're going to see another AUS 10A here. I think they're doing a pretty darn good job with this AUS 10A. If you want to go see one of these get the snot beat out of it, go over to Jimmy Slash's channel. I'll try and remember to link that down below. He shows just beating the holy hell out of one of these AUS 10A Formax Scouts, and it held up. It's a pretty good steel, I do have to say. It is 10.2 ounces. That is hard not to bring up. I call it a 10.2 ounces a man. It's just a big, heavy, giant knife, and but it's $110. If you're paying like dollar per ounce, it's one of the best bargains in the entire knife industry. It's a whole lot of knife, and you know what? When I got this, I thought, I'm never going to carry this. It's $110. I want one big, ridiculous cold steel as like a token thing to have around. But I carry it. I'm more surprised by that than you are, especially lately. Like, the last couple of weeks, I've been pretty much stuck in the house, and I throw this thing in my pocket a whole lot. I don't like carrying it in public that much, just because I think, if I do have to open it, it's huge. If I carry this outside of the house, which I do sometimes, but not often, I do carry a secondary, because I'm like, I don't need to pull this out, amongst normal humans, and freak everybody out, because it's not only is it big, but it's also loud. That's a lot of noise. You can roll it out like a normal person, but who wants to do that? It is just so big and overbuilt. Look at the thickness of the lock bar on that thing. It's just crazy. But for $110, you can't go wrong with one of these. If you've been tempted by a big cold steel, Formax Scout, all day long, twice on Sunday, this is a really cool knife that I do highly recommend, despite its 10.2 ounces of weight. Next up, a bit more reasonable, and this is one that I do just carry to carry. I love it. This is the 8010. It is just super comfortable. I think in my initial review, I called it a gentle bruiser. And I still think that stands true. It's so comfortable to carry and so comfortable to use. And it's big, but it still carries okay. The pocket clip's a bit obnoxious, but it's not too bad. It does work well. And the S35VN, it's $190. It is not inexpensive, but I really enjoy it. You can choke up on it. The jimping on it is perfect. It's not too aggressive. I really, really enjoy this knife a whole lot. I did have one of the originals that I believe, if I remember correctly, had a hollow grind blade. I sold it, and I got this S30. They were S35VN also, but I got the newer S35VN with the flat grind. I do miss the hollow ground one, but as a reviewer, I live in a bubble. I want to have the current one. For comparison tests and stuff, which you are going to be seeing this on an upcoming battle to the death. I do have one of those coming up. If it was an actual battle to the death, if I just had to put those 3 knives together and bang them against stuff, this would probably win. It is just a very big, overbuilt, really cool knife, though. And the 8010 is it's one of the best things that they've ever made. It's one of the best. I wouldn't say it's the best thing they've ever made, but it's one of the best they've ever made. It's just a great freaking knife. Next up, this is kind of a mascot of the channel, so it's unsurprising that it's on here and that I still have it. The American Lawman. Not going the whole story, but that logo, when I first did a review on it, I said it looked like the logo of a 1980s television show starring Chuck Norris, and I said that in that voice. And Baz on Blades wrote a whole song about it and everything. I'll try to link to that down below. But if you don't know the history of the American Lawman, sorry, I almost said it wrong. That's twice now, on the channel, then it's been around for a long time. Now, this is one of the flat ground XHP ones. It is not the newest, or one of the hollow ground XHP ones. I'm sorry. It is not one of the newest ones. But I can't bring myself to sell this one and upgrade it, because it's the mascot. It's the American Lawman, and I love it. There's going to be a video up later this evening that was an open tag from Patty's Potato Peelers. Great channel, by the way. And he did an open tag for knives that, started the channel. And this is going to be on that. It definitely is. This got me into cold steels. Like I said, initially I was not into the whole aesthetic of cold steel and the whole lifestyle. They're kind of like Harley Davidson, If you go buy a Harley, you're not just buying a cool bike. I just feel like you become part of it. And I resisted that for a while. But this knife definitely brought me in. It is an excellent EDC. Take away everything else about it, all their other bravado and stuff. It's just an excellent EDC. It's thin, it's light, it is linerless. A lot of these you're going to see here are. So everybody who rages about it has to have liners or it's weak and it's good. Cold Steel's like the toughest knife company in the world. Look at all the stuff they do in their videos, and a lot of their knives don't have liners. Admittedly, the Triad lock, there's a good amount of steel back here. Maybe that makes them need them a bit less, but still, you can do linerless. A G10 is some tough crap, and this is just 2 slabs of G10 and a Triad lock and a blade, and it works great. It's so comfortable. Super slicey blade. I love the American Lawman. Is that 4 times now? I will try not to do it again. Next up is the Code 4. The Code 4 was a knife that I kind of passed me by. I wasn't really into it. Like, I was aware of it, obviously, but it wasn't something I wanted to jump out and grab. And then you guys kept commenting all the time. You should have a Code 4. You should have a Code 4. You should have a Code 4. I think it was probably like the 12th or 13th time. I finally said, oh, fine. And I was like filling out a cart somewhere, and I got one. This is one of the newer S35VN ones, and it's outstanding. It was on my top 10 EDC knives of all time. It's just that good. I just really enjoy it. It does come in a Tanto blade as well. This is just the drop point. Just the drop point. I don't know why I would make one better than the other. But again, no liners. It just has 2 slabs of aluminum. And the Triad lock, very, very slim. Very easy to carry. Very lightweight. And $80. This is 95, by the way. I did not mention the price on that one. Yeah, $80. You have an S35VN for $80. That's crazy town. I love the Code 4, and I recommend it all the time to people, especially non-knife people, because the Triad lock is just more natural, I think, for a lot of people to operate it. It looks like a back lock. It's basically like a supercharged back lock. But I just love this thing. It's just something people are used to, so it's a lot easier for them to use. I adore the Code 4, and would never consider selling it. It's just a really great knife. If I sold it, I'd just go buy another one. So why would I sell it? Next up, this is a very new edition. This is the Airlight, new for 2020. Pretty similar construction to the American Lawman. Did it again. We have G10 slabs just with a Triad lock on the back. AUS 10A steel again, like you saw in the Formax Scout. $95. It's a little pricier than the Code 4, which I'm not really sure why that is. But this is the Tanto version. I love Cold Steel's Tanto. And I wanted to try it on something, and they had a new knife coming out. So, why not try it on the new one? Pretty easy peasy decision there. But this is a knife that is the epitome of something that is better than its parts. The AUS 10A steel versus the S35VN. Like I said, I think they do a great job with this AUS 10A. But I would probably rather have S35VN. Just because I know it better. The pocket clip isn't deep carry, but it's kind of big and ostentatious. But man, this thing carries so well, and it is so comfortable in the hand, and it is just such a pleasure to use. Especially for me in this Tanto version. For EDC kind of stuff, I am getting, so I do really like a Tanto. I've evolved from not liking Tantos to being kind of, Tanto indifferent to now I do kind of like them. And oft times when I have the option, I do choose the Tanto, as I did here. But just a fantastic knife. I really enjoy the Airlight. It's gonna be on one of my top 10 of the year lists. I almost guarantee it. It's just so comfortable, so easy to carry. It's not extremely lightweight and airlight. It's more airlight in the way it carries than it is by its actual weight. I think it's just a hair over 3 ounces. But you are getting a 3.5-inch blade and all that stuff. But it's a knife that is greater than the sum of its parts. And I don't know how else to describe it than that. You have to handle one. I was like, why is it 95 bucks? Handle one. You might change your mind. Yes, on paper, I think it's a bit overpriced, but having one, I don't think it's overpriced. So, and it does come in a drop point as well. Next up, this is another new one for 2020. This is the folding Kiridashi. Another one that really surprised me. I kind of honestly got this one because I thought, it's new, it's inexpensive, they're 35 bucks, and I just thought, well, I'll check it out. And cold steel videos always do pretty well with you guys, so I thought I'll get some views and it'll be fine. But I actually really like it. When I first got it, it does have a plastic pocket clip, which is a bit more than a bit controversial. Does make for excellent ergos though. That Kiridashi blade shape, and it's a 4034, 4024. I can't remember the acronym. I think 4034 SS steel. Yeah, there it is right there, 4034 SS steel. Which is another steel that hardly anybody else uses. Still made in Taiwan, like everything else here is. But it seems to be holding up okay. It seems to be all right. I don't think it's like mind-blowingly awesome steel, but it seems to be holding up okay. I've had to strop it once. It's dropped right back up. And this knife has, in a way, redeemed itself in that for a little bit this was not retired, but I have a Volkswagen Golf that I drive as my daily driver, and it has a little kind of hidden-ish compartment that Volkswagen people know where it is, but nobody else does, and I always keep some kind of knife in there just in case I forget one. And this was retired to that for a couple weeks, and it just was, sitting in there. And then one day I did get in the car. I didn't have a knife. I took it out. I put it back in my pocket and wound up leaving it there for a couple of days. And I really enjoy this knife just for your kind of daily EDC tasks, opening boxes and all that kind of stuff. It works really nice, and it is so comfortable in the hand with that plastic pocket clip. FRN pocket clip. I don't want to say it's fancy plastic. Yeah, the thumb studs get in the way. But you can take them off to sharpen it, which I did, and it's just a really cool knife. I just really like it a whole lot. And again, at 35 bucks, not bad at all. The next one, the last one, was a gift I got yesterday from Southern Edge Knife Works. Go to southernedgeknifeworks.com, use the code SDSEK at checkout. SDSEK at checkout. Get 50% off and free shipping in the continental U.S. I always have to say that. But yeah, this is the mini Toughlight. I didn't realize there was a mini Toughlight. I just wasn't paying attention. I knew about the Toughlight, which is a little bit larger than this, but this thing is so cool. Like I said, I've only had it for a day, but it ain't going anywhere. And it is not Brian spec. I did specifically ask for the blue. But for a tiny, tiny little blade, we're getting what? Inch and little less than 1.5 inches of blade. I can get all 4 fingers on this thing. And that is super cool. Chipping, of course, goes way up. It's basically a box cutter, but really nice. It's hollow grind, AUS 8A, which Cold Steel used that forever. They've always been the best with the AUS 8, so no problems with that. It is tip down only carry, but who cares? It's a tiny little thing. It still has a little itty bitty triad lock on it. And it makes this cool noise when you open it too. Let's see if I can make it do it. It's not really thumb flickable, like whip it out, but listen. That little ring, ding, ding, your knife is ready. I just like it a whole lot. I can't see, listen to that. I can't see ever being without this thing. It's just a fun little knife. Excellent 5th pocket knife. I wish I'd have had this before I did the 5th pocket thing. I think that I mentioned that I would have had an original Toughlight in there, which is the slightly larger one. But this one even more so. Just really cool. Is it a giantly, useful amount of blade? No, but for your usual stuff, let's face it, especially right now, we're just opening Amazon packages. This thing works awesome for that. It's just a great knife and so comfortable for how tiny it is. So comfortable. I really like the mini Toughlight. So there we go. These are my 7, plus a little preview of what's coming of my my Cold Steel collection. So yeah, I'm very happy to have gotten into this company. I feel bad or remiss or whatever word you want to use for having discounted them for a little bit at the beginning of the channel, but I'm not anymore. I keep an eye on Cold Steel closer than almost anybody. Once I have my other two, this will be 9. I think this may be the second or third most knives I have from one company. I still have more Spydercos than that, but and then the Kershaw ZT combo. If you put them together, if you don't put those two together, this is definitely second. If you put those two together, then this might be third or tied. I don't know, but really awesome company, really great knives, and also their warranty is great. Never heard any complaints there. Just yeah, go try some Cold Steels. They are built so much better than you think they are from their silly videos, and just the edges, I can't get past the edges and the heat treats on these. That is what they're always so reliable that way. And I know like Pete from Centric and Ada and all those guys say the same thing, and he does infinitely more steel testing than I do. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one. Wash your damn hands.